Magha karoti vachalam pangolangaya tegarim yat kitha dhavahan bande sigrundintainam Paramanandamaram Sri Chaitanya Isram. Hare Om Tat Sat. With all my respects to the chairman of the ISKCON Malaysia, His Holiness Bhakti Vajanananda Swami Maharaj.
My respects to the chairman of ISKCON Malaysia, His Holiness Bhakti Vrajendra Nandan Maharaj.
And His Holiness Damodar Maharaj.
His Holiness Damodar Maharaj.
And His Most Honorable Dato Lokabandhu.
Most Honorable Datu Lokabandhu,
who is the Deputy Minister
who is the Deputy Minister
of the federal government. Regards to His Grace Simheshwar Das.
Regards to His Grace Simheshwar Das.
To all the devotees and well-wishers who are present.
To all the devotees and well-wishers who are present.
And to the local branch president.
And to the local branch president.
His Grace Kripa Sindhu Das Brahmachari.
His Grace Kripa Sindhu Das Brahmachari.
For this Vyasa Puja, I wrote a song.
For this Vyasa Puja, I wrote a song.
That will be sung in the temple room by the Mayapur Chandras.
That will be sung in the temple room by the Mayapur Chandras.
And we hope all of you. We hope
all of you.
So I was present in 1971 when Srila Prabhupada was at the Ardha Kumbh Mela in Allahabad.
I was present in 1971 when Prabhupada was at the Ardha Kumbh Mela in Allahabad.
And a delegation from Malaysia.
And a delegation from Malaysia.
With Datin Saraswati.
With Datin Saraswati.
Whose husband was Dato Police Chief.
Whose husband was a Dato Police Chief.
She offered Prabhupada land in Saras.
She offered Prabhupada some land in Saras.
Kuala
Lumpur.
And invited him to come to Malaysia.
And invited him to come to Malaysia.
So he said he would come later that year.
So he said that he would come later that year.
But he was immediately eager to go to Malaysia.
But he was immediately eager to go to Malaysia.
You see, I'm one of the most traveled sannyasis in ISKCON.
I am one of the most traveled sannyasis in ISKCON.
And I have visited every temple in ISKCON.
And I have visited every temple in ISKCON.
In 1968.
In 1968.
There are 3 temples.
There were 3 temples.
San Francisco, New York, and Montreal.
San Francisco, New York, and Montreal.
It's very difficult now to visit all the 600 temples.
It may be very difficult now to visit all the 600 temples.
I've tried, but I failed.
I've tried, but I failed.
But in that 1968, I was able to achieve.
But in 1968, I was able to achieve.
So, over the years, we heard Prabhupada say different things.
Over the years, we heard Prabhupada say different things.
Like he said, his books will be the law books for 10,000 years.
Like he said, his books would be the law books for 10,000 years.
So, somebody in Tamil Nadu questioned, why 10,000 years? Where is this written?
Somebody in Tamil Nadu questioned, why 10,000 years? Where is this written?
And I think he asked Banaswami, we didn't know at that time.
I think he asked Banaswami. We didn't know at that time.
Next day he came back.
Next day he came back.
I found it.
I found it.
It's written.
It is written.
In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran.
In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran.
It's predicted that in the 125th verse.
It is predicted in the 125th verse.
Krishna Dwarka, he tells all the sacred rivers that he will come again on that after 5,000 years.
Krishna in Dwaraka, he tells all the sacred rivers that he will come again.
He tells them that after 5,000 years, he'll send a devotee who will preach all over the world.
He says that after 5,000 years, he will send a devotee who will preach all over the world.
There are other predictions of Lord Chaitanya coming 4,500 years.
There are other predictions of Lord Chaitanya coming 4,500 years.
But this prediction is about a bhakta, a devotee who will preach all over the world.
This prediction is about a bhakta, a devotee who will preach all over the world.
And he will usher in a golden age.
And he will usher in a golden age.
A 10,000 years period.
For a 10,000 year period.
Which the devotees, the people who accept this process,
which the devotees or people who accept this process,
they can easily go back to Godhead.
They can easily go back to Godhead.
And about 450 years ago, Lochan Das wrote the Chaitanya Mangal.
Lochan Das wrote the Chaitanya Mangal.
And there he said that Narad Muni went to Goloka Vrindavan.
There he said that when Narada Muni went to Goloka Vrindavan
and met Lord Chaitanya.
And met Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya said, I was feeling compassion for the people in the Kali Yuga and the universe of the four-headed Brahma.
Lord Chaitanya said, I was feeling compassion for the people of Kali Yuga in the universe of the four-headed Brahma.
I will come and I invite all your associates. Radharani was there with her gopis.
And I will come and I invite all of your associates. Radharani was there, all the gopis were there.
Rukmini and all the Ranis were there.
Rukmini and all the Ranis were there.
So you all come with me.
You can all come with me.
Whoever wants to come with me.
Whoever wants to come with me.
You can appear before me or after me.
You can appear before me or after me.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
But I'll preach all over the Bharat Varsha,
I will preach all over Bharatvarsha
and give the process of and flood everybody with Krishna prema.
and flood everybody with Krishna prema.
I won't carry my weapon of violence.
I won't carry my weapon of violence.
I'll use prema bhakti. I'll use Harinam Sankirtan
I will use prema bhakti. I will use Harinam Sankirtan
and the Vaishnava behavior.
and Vaishnavachar, Vaishnava behavior,
And so on.
and so on.
Then he said, if there are people who have escaped my mercy and go in distant lands,
And then he said that if there are people who escape my mercy and go to distant lands
outside of India,
outside of India,
I'll send my Senapati Bhakta
I will send my Senapati Bhakta
after 500 years.
after 500 years.
And he will spread this Krishna consciousness to the all over the world.
And he would spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world.
And then one of the acharyas in the Advaita Sampradaya,
Then one of the acharyas in the Advaita Sampradaya,
he predicted that the world will become filled with the sound of mridhangas.
he predicted that the world will become filled with the sound of mridangas.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, someone will come and he'll easily travel from one country to the next.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, someone will come and he will easily travel from one country to the next.
He will spread the Harinam Sankirtan,
He will spread the Harinam Sankirtan,
and he will bring people to the Navadvip Parikrama.
and he will bring people to the Navadvip Parikrama.
And many predictions he made,
And many predictions he made,
how Europeans and Americans would be chanting Hare Krishna.
how Europeans and Americans would be chanting Hare Krishna.
So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur,
So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur,
he told his devotees at the end of Parikrama,
he told his devotees at the end of Parikrama
that soon one of my disciples
that soon one of my disciples
will go to the west,
will go to the west,
and many devotees from around the world will come and participate in the Navadvip Parikrama.
and many devotees from around the world will come and participate in the Navadvip Parikrama.
This will not happen in my life,
This will not happen in my life,
but it will happen.
but it will happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Like this, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Thakur, he sent our Srila Prabhupada to the west.
In this way, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he sent our Srila Prabhupada to the west.
And he told him that by your preaching in the west, you'll be blessed spiritually.
And he told them that by your preaching in the west, you will be blessed spiritually.
And those who help you, they'll also be blessed.
And those who help you, they will also be blessed.
How many here want to help Srila Prabhupada?
How many here want to help Srila Prabhupada?
Srila Das has highlighted some of the ways you can help Prabhupada in Malaysia.
Simeshwar Das has highlighted some of the ways you could help Srila Prabhupada in Malaysia.
We've seen His Holiness Bhakti Vrindananda Swami going from one side of the country to the other.
We have seen His Holiness Bhakti Vrajendra Nandan Swami Maharaj going from one side of the country to the other.
So now he may not be able to do the same thing.
Now he may not be able to do the same thing.
But devotees should follow his good example.
But devotees should follow his good example.
Anyway, all these predictions were made, and they pointed to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as the Senapati Bhakta or the Bhakta who has fulfilled these predictions.
Anyway, all these predictions were made and they pointed to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as the Senapati Bhakta or the Bhakta who fulfilled all these predictions.
And if you read who's associates of Lord Chaitanya, like Prahlad, Hanuman, Radharani, Narmani.
If you read about the associates of Lord Chaitanya, the Prahlad, Narada Muni, Radharani, Hanuman,
Lord Brahma, all came down in different different forms.
All came down in different forms.
So, to be an associate of the Lord on an intimate level is very hard.
So, to be an associate of the Lord on an intimate level is very hard.
Of course, the Lord can extend Himself unlimitedly.
Of course, the Lord can expand Himself unlimitedly.
And the whole Navadip was inspired to follow Him against the Chant Kazi.
The whole of Navadip was inspired to follow Him against the Chant Kazi.
All the residents of the Navadip Dham were certainly great devotees.
All the residents of Navadvip Dham were certainly great devotees.
At least many of them.
At least many of them.
Some took up the role of demons.
Some took up the role of demons.
Lord Chaitanya said, in Kali Yuga, everyone has a contamination of the demonic nature in the heart.
Lord Chaitanya said, in Kali Yuga, everyone has a contamination of the demoniac nature in the heart.
And so Lord Chaitanya, His mission was to change the way that people think, to take out that demonic nature and leave a pure, loving nature.
So Lord Chaitanya's method was to remove that demoniac nature and leave the pure nature.
That's exactly what Srila Prabhupada did.
That's exactly what Srila Prabhupada did.
At the Ardha Kumbh Mela,
at the Ardha Kumbh Mela,
the one I was talking about,
the one that I was talking about,
one devotee, after hearing Prabhupada's class,
one devotee, after hearing Srila Prabhupada's class,
he asked a question.
He asked a question.
You said by taking devotional service, you cross through so many preliminary stages of yagyas, tapasyas, and pious activities.
You say that to take to devotional service, you have to pass through so many preliminary stages of tapasya, yajna, and so many activities.
But when I look back at my life, I don't see any of that.
But when I look back at my life, I don't see any of that.
I was simply engaged in materialistic activities.
I was simply engaged in materialistic activities.
So how did I receive devotional service?
So how did I receive devotional service?
Prabhupada exclaimed forcefully,
Prabhupada exclaimed forcefully,
I have made your good fortune for you.
I have made your good fortune for you.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Prabhupada ki jai.
So, to actually follow someone who is mentioned in the Puranas and by our previous acharyas, I don't know how to give that sufficient value.
And to follow someone who is mentioned in the Puranas and by our previous acharyas, I don't know how to give that sufficient value.
I mean, this is a rare opportunity we have to please Lord Chaitanya and to
I mean, this is a rare opportunity that we have to please Lord Chaitanya.
He predicted that the whole world, every town and village will chant the holy names.
He predicted that the whole world and every town, they will chant the holy names.
So we see here that in Malaysia, there are not so many brahmacharis.
There are not so many brahmacharis.
We would like more.
We would like more.
But the reality is we have lots of grihastas.
But the reality is that we have lots of grihastas.
So that's why, to please Prabhupada, the grihinis and grihastas have to also dedicate some time to serve Lord Chaitanya.
That's why, to please Srila Prabhupada, the grihinis and grihastas also have to dedicate some time to serve Lord Chaitanya.
Prabhupada, he was walking in Lumpur, and there were some bulls who were stepping on some dal.
Prabhupada is walking on Mayapur, and there were some bulls who were stepping on some dove.
They were tied to a central pole.
They were tied to a central pole.
And they went around and around and around in a circle.
They went around and around and around in a circle.
And the farmer would throw the dal, the pulse under their feet.
And the farmer would throw the dal, the pulse, under their feet.
And their kicking would divide it.
And their kicking would divide them.
He said, you see this?
He said, you see this?
You see this?
You see this?
Well, yeah, we see this.
We said, yes, we have seen this.
What does it mean?
What is the meaning?
You see that stick?
He said, you see that stick?
That is the Maidanda. Maidanda.
That is the Maidanda.
The Grihanidis, they just go around and around in a circle, keeping the sense gratification centered in the wife in the center.
The Grahamedis, they go around and around in a circle, keeping the wife, the sense gratification in the center.
So, we want our Krishna conscious ladies and men to please show the example of how it is to have Krishna in the center.
So we want our Krishna conscious men and ladies to show the example how it is to have Krishna in the center.
And it's all right. It's good if you attach to each other and not be attached to outside the marriage.
It is good if you're attached together and not be attached outside of marriage.
Because Krishna gives us this marriage system.
Because Krishna has given us this system.
But it is important that we keep Krishna in the center. We do different sacrifices like festivals, pujas.
But it's important that we keep Krishna in the center, that we do different sacrifices, pujas, festivals,
Namahatas, bhakti vrikshas.
namahatas, bhakti vrikshas.
Dedicate some time to Krishna consciousness.
Dedicate some time to Krishna consciousness.
But keep time for the family, for the children, so that they don't feel neglected.
But keep time for the family, for the children, so that they don't feel neglected.
Yesterday he was telling me his 4-year-old son
Yesterday he was telling me that his 4-year-old son
asked
him,
what happens after death.
what happens after death?
You know, these kind of questions, it takes Krishna consciousness to answer.
These kind of questions, it takes Krishna consciousness to answer.
Not like, a crane takes away and
Not like crane. Crane takes away
some bird.
some bird.
I give them some, what they can understand, but gradually give them Krishna consciousness.
So, don't know how much they can understand, but gradually give them Krishna consciousness.
So that by the time they're 10 years old, they'll be naturally convinced not to take meat, not to do things which are against our principles.
So by the time they're 10 years old, they will be naturally convinced not to take meat, not to do things that are against our principles.
Because when they're teenagers, it's more difficult.
When they are teenagers, it is more difficult.
So Prabhupada gives us this opportunity to awaken our dormant love for Krishna.
So Prabhupada gave us this opportunity to awaken our dormant love for Krishna.
How valuable that is, we have no words to say.
How valuable that is, we have no words to say.
It's the greatest gift that anyone can give.
It is the greatest gift that anyone can give.
Therefore, we're so much indebted to Srila Prabhupada.
And therefore, we are so much indebted to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.